Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle. On Global Television, we are live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. President Bola Tinubu on Monday suspended the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Betta Edu, following widespread anger over an alleged scandal. A statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the President, Ajuri Ngelale, said President Bola Tinubu suspends the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, from the office with immediate effect. Tinubu on Sunday directed a comprehensive inquiry into the alleged 585 million naira scandal in the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, will on Monday launch the first online portal for passport application in Abuja. According to Tunji, an online passport application platform has been established for both international and Nigerian applicants. The minister said the automated application system was 99% done, adding that the process would include uploading passport photos and supporting documents, stating that Nigerian applicants who want 32-page passports with 5-year validity would pay 25,000 naira, while those who want 64-page passports with a 10-year validity would pay 70,000 naira. Meanwhile, foreign applicants who wish to apply for passports with a 5-year validity period and 32 pages will pay $130, while those who prefer passports with a 10-year validity period and 64 pages will pay $230. The Supreme Court on Monday dismissed the appeal by the People's Democratic Party and its candidate in the Benue governorship election, Titus Uba. The Governorship Election Petition Tribunal and the Court of Appeal in Abuja had affirmed the election of Hyacinth Alia as governor of Benue State. Not pleased with the judgment, Uba approached the Apex Court for redress. Alia of the All Progressives Congress was declared the winner of the state's governorship election in March 2023. Alia, who is a Catholic priest, was also given a certificate of return by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The INEC returning officer, Professor Farouk Kuta, said the APC candidate polled 473,933 votes to defeat his closest rival, Titus Uba of the People's Democratic Party, who scored 223,914 votes. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Enugu Depot, has denied any plans to increase price of petrol. The chairman of IPMAN, Enugu Depot, Chinedu Anyaso, who made the statement in Awka, Anambra State, urged the public to disregard news of an increase in the price of petrol. Speaking on the rumored impending increase in the price of petrol, he described the report as one of the mischievous news of social media stories. He added that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, which is the sole importer of petrol, had not informed them of any plan to increase petrol price, urging the public to disregard the rumors of increased price. On a sad note, 5 persons have been confirmed dead and 30 others rescued in a boat accident that occurred in River Niger, around Miata Anam in Anambra West local government area of Anambra State. It was gathered that the boat was sailing from Kogi State to Anambra through the River Niger before it got capsized at the Miata banks of the river. The incident happened on Sunday morning, though the deceased persons have not been identified. They were said to hail from a riverine part of Kogi State and were traveling by water to Onitsha for various businesses. Most of the victims were women and children. Rescue operators who arrived at the scenes a moment later dived into the waters and recovered their lifeless bodies, and they were deposited by the bank of the river. They were able to count over 10 lifeless bodies as rescue operations were still going on. The management of the University of Ilorin, Kwara State, has said that the list of fake professors allegedly attributed to be working in the institution was not known to the university. The university, in a press statement made available to journalists in Ilorin and signed by Kunle Akogun, Director of Corporate, the Deputy Executive Secretary in charge of Academic Directorate, Dr. Noel Abiodun Saliu, explained that such information should be taken as the handwork of mischief makers who are out to destroy the hard-earned reputation of those prestigious institutions whose names were mentioned. In another development, the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria has warned doctors against denying patients access to healthcare services during strike actions. The registrar of the MDCN, Dr. Tajuddin Sanusi, disclosed this in a letter dated January 4, 2024, an address to the Committee of Chief Medical Directors and Medical Directors of Teaching Hospitals, Federal Medical Centers, and Specialized Hospitals. The registrar said the new rule is based on the recent penchant of registered practitioners to engage in industrial action, including strikes, to enforce their labor rights. According to the letter, patients on admission must not be discharged merely because of a strike action. It added that accident and other emergency pediatrics units must remain open and manned by practitioners who had been scheduled on rosters based on the provisions of the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act. Meanwhile, the rector of Kaduna Business School, KBS, Dr. Dahiru Sani, has threatened to sue the National Universities Commission, NUC, if it doesn't remove the school's name from the list of 58 illegal universities released by the commission. According to him, the NUC was wrong to have included KBS in the list because the business school is not a university and doesn't run a degree program. The rector addressed newsmen to react to the recent list released by the NUC, which included the business school among the 58 fake universities in the country. Former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, has arrived at the Office of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to offer clarifications concerning her stewardship. Umar Farouk arrived at the headquarters of the EFCC to honor the invitation by the Anti-Graft Agency to offer clarifications in respect of some issues that the Commission is investigating. The former minister had earlier indicated her readiness to honor the Commission's invitation. The EFCC is investigating money laundering amounting to more than 30 billion naira in agencies her ministry supervised during the Muhammadu Buhari administration. Global Television will keep you up to date with more details. Sadly, a 20-year-old female supplier of ammunition to bandits, Bilikisu Suleiman, came top on the list of 12 other suspects arrested by NDLEA operatives in New Year interdiction operations in Kaduna, Lagos, Niger, Kogi, Kano, Borno, and Osun State. Bilikisu was arrested on Wednesday, 3rd January by NDLEA officers on patrol along Zaria-Kano Expressway in possession of 249 rounds of 7.62 millimeters live ammunition concealed in a black nylon bag kept in her lady's handbag. She was on her way to deliver the ammunition to an identified bandit in Kakumi village, Katsina State, when she was nabbed, after which she was transferred to the Kaduna State Command of the Nigerian Police Force for further investigation. Commending the arrests and seizures of the past week by officers and men of the MMIA, the chairman, NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, charged the officers and their compatriots across all formations of the agency to continue to remain vigilant and double their drug demand reduction as well as drug supply reduction efforts in the new year. Lagos State government has urged waterways users and stakeholders on the need for patience and calm following the purported Supreme Court judgment over the control of nation's waterways, particularly in the state. The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Lawal Pedro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, made the urge on Monday in a statement while reacting to an earlier press release by National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, on Supreme Court judgment. Delivering its judgment on a suit concerning the dispute, a 7-member panel of the Supreme Court, led by John Okoro, said it was unlawful for state governments to seek to control the nation's inland waterways. In the lead judgment written by Okoro, the Supreme Court held that existing laws confer exclusive control of activities in the inland waterways on the federal government through its agency, the NIWA, and the Nigerian Maritime Standard and Safety Agency, NMSSA, and no other tier of government. The Lagos State government had created the Lagos State Waterways Authority, LASWA, in 2008 for the management of its waterways. Many thanks for staying with us. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the news cycle. One person has been confirmed dead in a fire outbreak at an engine oil depot in Kano. Several buildings housing the facility were also destroyed by the raging fire. The depot is located at Hotoro Eastern Bypass. Firefighters from the state fire service rushed to the scene to put out the fire as residents of the area fled for safety. According to an eyewitness, the fire outbreak occurred after an oil tanker loaded with oil arrived at the facility. Details on the level of damage caused by the fire were still sketchy as at the time of the report. The Taraba State government has announced plans to reintroduce history as a subject in the basic education curriculum in schools in the state. The state governor, Agbu Kefas, made this known when he hosted journalists to a dinner in Jalingo, Taraba State. History was removed from primary and secondary education curriculum in 2009/2010 academic session. In November 2022, the federal government reintroduced history as a standalone subject in the basic education curriculum in Nigeria, 13 years after its abolition. The governor noted that in no distant time, primary school teachers in the state must be first degree holders, while secondary school teachers must have a minimum of master's degree to enhance the quality of education in the state. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, has vowed to eradicate all forms of round-tripping and poor farmers' data in the sector, including other impediments negatively impacting food security and production. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is fully committed to addressing the issues of round-tripping and poor validation of farmers' data. Kyari stated this in his address during the visit of the Governor of Jigawa State, Umar Namadi, at the headquarters of the ministry. He also acknowledged that this could be achieved through collaboration with state and local governments, traditional rulers, and non-governmental organizations, NGOs. He further stated that with stringent measures put in place, the distribution of farm inputs will be done transparently, and the targeted farmers will receive them. On the foreign scene, 2 Kung Fu coaches were handed death sentences in China on Monday following their arrest last year for a 1997 poisoning that killed 7 children. The men planted rat poison in food at a martial arts school in China's eastern Anhui province due to a business conflict with its boss, and then evaded prosecution for nearly 26 years. Defendants Fu Zheji and Zhu Zulin were each sentenced to death for the crime of poisoning by the Intermediate People's Court in the city of Manshan, according to an online statement. The court stated that around 1994, Zhu and another man surnamed Peng entered into a dispute while running competing martial arts schools in the area. The 2 defendants then conspired to retaliate for their grudges by pouring 2 packets of rat poison into the food at Peng's school on June 29, 1997. The 2 culprits were identified by authorities as suspects, but were not arrested until May 2023. Fu in Fujian province on the eastern coast and Zhu in southwestern Guizhou province. The number of people unaccounted for after Japan's New Year's Day earthquake more than tripled on Monday to 323, while the death toll rose to 168 according to local authorities. A heavy dumping of snow, meanwhile, complicated relief efforts a week after the 7.5 magnitude quake, with more than 2,000 people still cut off and many others lacking power are forced to take shelter in crowded emergency sites. A new list published by Ishikawa Prefecture in central Japan on Monday showed the number of missing people soaring from 31 to 281 in Wajima, one of the worst hit places where the quake flattened dozens of houses and a major fire devastated a large area. In the prefecture's city of Suzu, a woman in her 90s managed to survive 5 days under the wreckage of a collapsed house before being saved. The regional government warned that days of rain increased and risk further landslides, while the fresh, heavy snow, more than 10 centimeters in places, could cause more buildings to collapse under its weight. In business, the United Nations has said that Nigeria's rising debt is increasing inflation rates, and its impact on the welfare of the citizens puts the nation at risk of declining economic growth in 2024. The UN made this known in its World Economic Situation and Prospect Report for 2024 projects on Monday. Nigeria's inflation rate stood at 28.2% with a debt profile of about 87.38 trillion naira by the second quarter of 2023 from 49.85 trillion naira in first quarter, which amounts to about 75.35% increase, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. The UN also estimated an increase in Nigeria's growth rate from 2.9% in 2023 to 3.1% in 2024. According to the report, Nigeria's policy reforms enacted in 2023 23, especially in the hydrocarbon sector, contributed to a moderate improvement in the country's growth prospects for 2024, with a 3.1% gross domestic product growth forecast. Policy reforms enacted by the government of Nigeria in 2023, especially in the hydrocarbon sector, have contributed to a moderate improvement in the country's growth prospects for 2024, with a GDP growth forecast at 3.1%. Dangote Industries Limited has opened up on the last week visit by officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to its headquarters in Lagos, describing it as embarrassing while pledging it was ready to assist the Commission in its investigation. The indigenous conglomerate, in a statement, disclosed that it received a letter from the EFCC on December 6, 2023, requesting details of all the foreign exchange allocated to it by the Central Bank of Nigeria from 2014 to the present, stating its resolve to continue to play its key role in stimulating the domestic economy. Dangote Group declared that they will remain committed to providing the EFCC with all necessary information and cooperation as a law-abiding and ethical corporate citizen, adding that they have already delivered the first batch of documents and are actively working to compile and submit the remaining documents in good time to aid their investigation. The Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, NCS, Adewale Adeniyi, has said the officers of the service will work tirelessly to achieve the 5.1 trillion naira revenue target set by the federal government for the service in 2024. Adeniyi stated this in Abuja at the decoration of the newly promoted officers of the service. He stated that the year 2024 is full of expectations, especially with the Nigerian Customs Service, in terms of revenue and trade facilitation, adding that the service is ready to harness its manpower to meet those expectations. The customs boss further stated that the service will be deploying technology to improve border security and trade facilitations at the port. In sports, President Bola Tinubu has declared the outstanding payment of the federal government owed the federal government owed the Super Eagles and other sporting teams of the country. According to a statement on the X handle of Tinubu's media center, the payment entails the clearing of the senior national team coach salaries running up to 15 months, payment of allowances and promises due to the senior national teams, females and under-20 national team. Recall that in 2020, the Super Eagles complained that the federal government was yet to release the 1.5 billion naira approved for them to compete at the 2019 African Cup of Nations. Birmingham hired Tony Mowbray on Monday as the new manager to replace sacked Wayne Rooney. Former Sunderland and West Brom boss Mowbray agreed a 2.5-year deal with the championship strugglers. He is Birmingham's third manager this season after the dismissals of John Eustace and Rooney. Mowbray was sacked by Sunderland in December after 15 months in charge, despite guiding them to the playoffs last season. Former Manchester United and England star Rooney was axed by Birmingham after just 83 days in charge, having replaced Eustace in October. Rooney managed just 2 wins in 15 games as Birmingham slipped from 6th in the championship to 20th. And that's it on News Cycle, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agapa. Thank you for watching and see you again.